Alright guys, welcome to Gusto Reactions once again. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and subscribing. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys have been truly amazing. We cannot thank you enough. I mean, it's a brand new day, Gusto Reactions right here, and I've got none other than the one and only people's favorite. I mean, fans favorite.
For the moment.
Of the
moment.
Fans favorite, Lala in the building. And today we have something really interesting for you. It's about the Odogu and another Odogu again. We don't know, but of course Davido's album is set to drop. Like sharp you go drop, and everyone has been talking about the album, and you even have like an information on that album as well about maybe what's it Jombicon or something. Anyways, Davido's A Better Time album set to drop.
Yeah.
Now, anyone who is you know, a history of Nigerian, who has a history of what's been going on in the past couple of months would know that all is not well between Davido and Burna Boy and Wizkid.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's been the Davido versus Burna Boy and Wizkid.
According to Davido.
According to Davido. So, Burna Boy has done a whole lot in terms of tweeting. And of course, some tweets are usually against OBO Davido.
Yes.
Now, if we look at the history, Davido tweeted, "Me and Wizkid are the two African giants." Burna Boy came through and said, "If your Papa gets team, even though you don't have a play, you go play and everything." Davido did not respond. Aloma came through and said, "Burna Boy, you are biting the fingers that fed you and everything. I go kill your papa, I go do what or no, like some sort of thing like that." Davido said, you know, he didn't say Aloma. That was what he said at that time. Now, fast forward to some weeks later, Burna Boy posted something else again about a Porsche, and like, what did he even say about? He posted a logo of a car, one car Davido just bought.
Yeah.
He posted the logo and said something really fishy. You get at that time as well.
Yeah.
Now, moving on again, you have Davido not congratulating Burna Boy on the album. Yes. He did not comment on it at all. Moving on again, Davido was on Black Box interview with Ebuka, and he told Ebuka point blank, "I don't have a problem with them. Maybe they have a problem with me, but I do not have a problem with any of them at all." Was Fem a diss song to Burna Boy? Well, I expect him to reply. He should reply me and everything. So, which means Fem, which was released by Davido just before the Black Box interview, was a major diss song allegedly to Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Now, after the whole Ebuka Black Box interview, everything it died down a bit.
Yeah.
He's back up again, Lala.
Davido
actually dropped a song So Crazy before the album with Lil Baby. That didn't go down well with so many Lil Baby fans, saying, "Why would they do this? How would they do that?" Lil Baby came through and said, "How the heck am I supposed to reject 100 rack? Maybe it's for Davido or not, we don't know."
Maybe.
But it seemed like it was for
Davido. Now. He was getting slack from his fans.
Yeah, and Lil Baby said, "No more features for me right now. That's about it," and all of that. And then out of the blue, after tweeting NSAT and everything, Burna Boy just tweeted something. Floppy disk. Floppy disk. What does floppy disk mean? Coming from Burna Boy.
I don't know. Maybe Burna Boy had an inside information about this album for a while.
Do you think it's about the album?
I think it's about Davido, that's for sure. And I also think it's related to the song he dropped with Lil Baby, and the song he dropped with Lil Baby is related to the album.
Okay.
So everything is about David. So we already know that he was expecting David to drop the album around the same period as him. I mean, he knew that he was going to drop twice as tall
in August,
July or August. But he ended up dropping in August. But he had earlier made a Snapchat story like, "Cool, come July or come August, we shall laugh accordingly," because there was supposed to be a clash around that period with these two albums, which did not happen. It didn't happen for either of them. So yeah, when he made that, obviously he knows that yes, he wants to laugh according to him. But then seeing what has happened with the Lil Baby track So Crazy, and the reactions that followed, I'm sure Burna Boy is somewhere laughing like, this Mugu go pay 100,000. I'm not calling Davido a Mugu. I'm not saying
this guy go pay.
This guy go pay person $100,000. So I'm sure that's what's going through his mind. And then seeing the reactions, he's going to be laughing and thinking, oh, so this is what's going to happen. You want to use money to buy, blah 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 blah. That's what Burna Boy will be thinking, because he already has that idea in his head that yes, he doesn't regard Davido as talented. He just sees him as someone who has cash to do whatever he wants. That's what Burna Boy sees him as, and it's clear to see based on statements he's made in the past.
But what exactly has made Burna Boy tweet that thing, floppy disk?
Obviously, things are not right between two of them. I mean, if you can't say Burna Boy shouldn't tweet, I mean, what's his name? Davido has gone to interview and mentioned Burna Boy's name as well. And mentioned things about Burna Boy. He's addressed Burna Boy in interviews. So yes, the Burna Boy. Why can
Burna Boy come out and just use his chest and say so crazy?
That will be so unprofessional. Like, it will be very low of him. I'm not saying what he did right now. Probably is still a low, but then it will be like an extra low to the bottom of the barrel, like hell low. That's what that will be. So this floppy disk of a thing is obviously a shade. Like, he's already casting aspersions, and because we've seen that the album has leaked in places, you'll be shocked that some of these other big artists have also gone to listen and see whether this thing can really touch them or it can't really touch them. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to listen to a couple of tracks off the album.
So why exactly is Burna Boy on Davido's matter?
Things are not right. Both of them are on each other's matter. Things are not right between two of them. So Burna Boy, he wants to do, perhaps maybe he feels threatened that the album, might do better than his. Then it's a way of, casting expressions or making it seem more valuable than his. Perhaps saying the album is flop.
I was going to ask you, do you think Burna Boy is afraid, like, this album is going to beat my album, so I'm going to do everything to discredit the works on this album a better time?
I think any reasonable competitor might be worried about what the competitor is doing, but I won't say he's that worried to that extent that he needs to tweet negative things about this the song or an album indirectly. Whether it's still indirect, he hasn't but everybody knows what it is. But yes, it wasn't needed, but then that's one of the things that happens when people are at war with each other. So they will do things like this. We already know that Davido also stylishly throws some shots at these guys when he says he's number one, that in terms of everything in interviews. Obviously, he doesn't regard any other person and tells, there's nothing bad saying you're number one, but he knows, says forget money, I'm number one. He keeps on saying this, I got hits in my car, I got hits in my car, I got hits on my computer. He keeps on saying things like that. That means, yes, he's ready. That means he's putting out,
ready for war.
He's ready for war with anybody that wants to go to war with him when it comes to music. He's stylishly calling out for you that, maybe you want music war, let's go to war. I got hits in my car. That's what he's been saying. So obviously he's indirectly referring to these other guys that shouldn't get hits. For him to come out and say, in get album we go swallow person album, or you get a song we go swallow person album. Stylishly, that's not going to happen. Regardless whether it's number one on one particular chart, it doesn't matter. It's a newer track. People will gravitate towards something that is new in the new in the moment than something that has been released before. Unless that new thing is completely whack and then you see it just drop down and fade away.
Now, Burna Boy's floppy disk tweet has Davido seen it. I think he has seen it.
You think he won't? These people see everything. It's like you asking me now that do I think that Whiskey did not see Davido's
TV
congratulations message?
Oh yeah.
Of course they will see it. Even if it was not on Twitter and sees it, is people around him would say, "Waiting a worry Burna Boy say, see waiting Burna Boy tweets." They will have seen it. They can't. That's why it's open and public for a reason. If you don't see it, other people will see it and people will tag you. I'm pretty sure on that floppy disk, you see people have tagged the video. See what this guy talk about you.
No, fans have come out to actually bash Burna Boy. Some saying, "Oh, Fame is bigger than your whole career. Fame is bigger than Trust
Those are DMW
Fame
guys,
is this song to you, and it's even the biggest song this year, and all of those things." Now, do you think that the beef between Burna Boy and Davido has made Burna Boy a better artist?
Between Davido and Burna? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Because as an African giant, I think they were still cool at that period.
Okay.
I think they were cool then. So I don't think any beef had made Burna Boy a better artist. I think if anything, It's just the international deal that Burna has made him think that he can achieve a lot, and they are doing right by him, and he's seeing results, and he has to like shield or hide certain parts of him that have made people think, oh, this guy. I mean, he hasn't been successful in it, but he has to shield some certain parts. I mean, some certain parts of him that made. I mean, the way he talks. I mean, the way he reacts to certain things on social media. I mean, they have to take him off Twitter for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if the label was not that strong, would he listen to them and say, or the people around him are not that sensible or strong enough? Would he listen to them? He only comes on Twitter once in a while now, but it doesn't mean he doesn't see what's going on. He sees it, but majority of his tweets on his Twitter handled by his management.
Yeah.
So yes, he understands that there are certain things his thoughts he needs to keep to himself, and only once in a while just drop it. Because there was a time when he was active on Twitter, anything Burna had to say on Twitter at that period was negative to everybody. Yeah, he was always trending for the wrong reasons, and those guys realized that it was bad for business. So, and they took some of those privileges. It's not really a privilege, but they took some of those activities off his hands. Yeah, so it helped him. I think the people around him are majorly the reason why he's been better at what he does, and he's had better results at what he does, not particularly any beef or anything like that. Yeah.
Now, floppy disk is a tweet that's been causing a lot of commotion online right now. A lot of over 4,000, replies to that tweet. Everybody bashing Burna Boy, some supporting him actually. Will Davido respond to this tweet?
Stylishly.
In his own way.
I think in his own way, stylishly he will. I mean, he himself has been throwing subliminals. He's been doing stylishly saying things that he's number one. This album will swallow anybody. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be better than anybody's. Blah 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 blah.
No, but anybody can say that. Anybody can say, I'm number one. I mean, I don't have to hate, Peter to say I'm number one in this whole place. Peter can say, oh, I'm number one too, but we could still be cool. When rappers, for example, in the hip hop scene, when you say you're number one, that means you're attracting hits. That means anybody else is whack. You say you're the best, that means everybody else does not match you, that cannot do what you do. So are we saying that when Davido and Burna Boy were cool, Davido has never said he's number one before? No, I don't think so. I don't think he would have ever said he's number one. You don't think I mean, everybody would try to hype themselves in any way. So how do you think Davido will respond to this floppy? I mean, you can hype yourself and not try and put other people in the bad light. In the same brackets. You can hype yourself without put everybody in the second tier. You've made yourself look like you're the best to ever do it. You have the best album. You're the best at everything. He's playing trumpet now. No, he's playing. No, that's what I'm saying. That you don't necessarily have to say you're number one. Just say you are one of the best. Okay, when they ask you're number one, in terms of what, he still couldn't put it in. He just wanted to say. We all know that question came as a result of the questions he was asked. He says he's bigger than everybody. Yes. But that's arguable. It's not a fact. He says it's there on paper, but it's not there on paper. There's not one thing that has come out and say that it's because of this or this makes him number one. No. If you're going to be completely factual about it, we know that it's almost, you can't really separate these guys because they all have their strengths and weaknesses when it comes to achievements, especially in the international scene. Obviously, yes, you are top 3, but when you start saying you're bigger than everybody, obviously, what do you expect someone who has dropped an album that had the number ones in several countries? What do you expect him to say? Like, he feels he's on top as well, but he hasn't come out. He also has come out in the past to say yes. I think that's Vimo that does that a lot. Yeah, says Vimo's always saying that. But then yes, anytime you say you're number one and everybody else is mediocre, then you're calling for trouble. For trouble. Yeah. Okay, so now finally before we go, Lala, Burna Boy has done his own part by dropping that floppy disk tweet. You expect Davido to respond? Of course, Davido will respond like he always does, and he will act out without thinking about it. But I think his focus right now should be. You're already seeing Davido as someone who does stuff without thinking. He's erratic with some decisions. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he needs to stay focused on what it is. If focus is a better time. Has Whiskey seen this tweet? Of course, Whiskey would have seen it now. Whiskey sees a lot of things and it doesn't respond. So what do you think Whiskey response would be when or worse when he saw that tweet of Burna Boy? Would he be like, yes, that's my guy? Yeah, Ginger Ram and everything.
From what we've seen about Wizkid, I think he has, when I call it maturity, I think he's gotten to a point in his life that he doesn't need. I mean, we know Wizkid of what 2016, 2017.
Frog voice and all of those things.
He will come out and say a lot of things. I mean, this guy went head to head with the biggest blogger in the game and threatened that.
Yeah.
So I think at the age he is right now, I think he has perhaps had an epiphany and thought to himself that, okay, I think I want to go about this a different way. And he's had influences from the guys in the future. He talked about the influences that they normally had on him in his life. So perhaps he now wants to have just a peaceful, he wants to live a peaceful life. And he doesn't want issues, doesn't want drama. That's hence the song No Stress, but just No Stress didn't have to do with no stress. But so yeah, I think Wizkid at the stage that he's in his life wants to just turn a blind eye to a lot of things, which he wouldn't have done some years ago.
So would you have advised that, would you have thought that, okay, he's going to call Burna Boy to order and say, Burna, nah, you don't need a
No, I think
he doesn't want to get involved?
Perhaps he doesn't want to get
involved. He's involved already.
He's involved, but he's keeping quiet. He's not saying anything. But then I would expect people like Burna, I mean, these things are new to Burna. Whether we like it or not, it's new to him, the international claim and fame. Let's not forget that Wizkid had been at it for years. And the heights that people are reaching and passing, he has initially done those things. Yeah. So right now, he's gotten to that stage where he wants peace, right? He doesn't want drama. So I would expect people like Davido and Burna Boy to borrow a leaf from Wizkid and say, okay, fine. Let me just, perhaps, I mean, it takes something personal for you to realize and say, oh man, I don't want this stress. Like the way Olamide too used to fight back then. There was beef, rap beef with Olamide at one point. Yeah. Guys like Reminisce, like Vector of recent, it took him a while to actually settle a beef with. But Reminisce was also a troublesome person with beef as well. But they settled, and right now these guys are not even about beef. Like they've passed that age. I think Wizkid is what, 32 or 31, and Davido is not 30 yet.
No, 27.
So yeah, I think by the time he gets to that age, you might feel, I don't want controversy. Let me just chill. So I'm expecting them to borrow a leaf from Wizkid. But for the fans and the middlemen like us, that we enjoy the basketball. So anyhow they want to play it.
Will Burna Boy congratulate Davido on a Better Time album?
Never.
Will Wizkid do that?
Never.
Wizkid won't?
So there are two strikes now. Usually someone who is emotional about these things, immediately after that black box interview with Ebuka, Wizkid, if he was really emotional, if it was Wizkid or maybe trying to say, he would have come out and say, oh my guy, I will not get problem with you and try and solve it. But he just kept mute. I mean, that's the most painful thing about it. That's what pains the video the most. He kept quiet, he didn't say anything. Now this has come and Wizkid too has kept quiet and he didn't say anything. So it's going to be hurtful. You tweet at him, he kept quiet, he didn't reply, you reply other people.
So you think Wizkid and Burna Boy are not going to congratulate Davido on a Better Time?
Burna Boy especially rarely does that. I'm angry at the fact that a lot of people congratulated him when he dropped his album, and when they dropped the album, they didn't get any sort of congrats or blah blah, nada. They didn't get anything like that from him.
It was just Wizkid that he congratulated.
Yeah, he congratulated Wizkid. That means they're tight right now, and nothing can separate those two. Even the layman, I mean, the people who are just in the middle, observers who are congratulating, who are artists, he still is not. Everybody was saying, Burna Boy, trust our store, hailing him. Baba did not respond to anybody. So yes, that's a minus for me. That's a negative for me.
Okay, that says the negative for him. I mean, those two are really, really close right now. Burna Boy and of course Starboy, Wizkid. Yes, made in Lagos. Wizkid got Burna on that particular one, Ginger. Yes, it's really, really like popping right now. Of course, a whole lot has been said about Davido and Burna Boy floppy disk. Is Davido going to respond to that floppy disk tweet, or just let his fans do what they've been doing right now? I mean, a lot of Davido fans have been calling Burna Boy Audiogu, like audio goo, like it's an audio goo and everything.
About the protest.
Femme is a beef song to you, and it's still the biggest song in Nigeria this year. fame is bigger than your whole career, Burna Boy. Fame is bigger than your discography. Davido is bigger than you. He will always be bigger than you. A lot of Davido fans, Burna fans as well have come out to attack, David's fans. It's been a whole lot. Go and check that tweet by Burna Boy on Twitter. A lot of war going down in the replies to that particular tweet. Will Davido respond finally to cap off the whole Davido FC comment? Let us know what you think about the whole thing. Was Burna Boy right to actually talk about floppy disk? Was it in response to Davido? Was it in response to So Crazy by Davido featuring Lil Baby? Of course, he has listened to the album that leaked and he feels, nah, it's a floppy disk, I beg. This is not an album, I beg.
I doubt that's
you get it's a flop. Do you understand? So now, let us know exactly what you think about the whole Burna Boy Davido situation. Is Wizkid somewhere just chilling and laughing and saying, you know what, Burna, don't do that now. You're more than all of that. Or Wizkid is still encouraging Burna Boy, or Wizkid is just staying silent. All of these questions begging for answers from you guys. Let us know what you think about the whole situation. I will write it to reply to every one of you. Thank you so much for staying put with us. As amazing as usual. Guys, please comment and no fighting. All of them, we want to laugh for 30 BG. Just come to Gosto office, pay us some money, and just maybe we'll consider your application.
Consider it.
Yeah, just maybe we'll consider it. For the Wizkid FC, come to the office, pay us some money, just maybe we'll consider it. And anyone at all, but trust me, at the end of the day, we support good music irrespective of the artist. That is what we stand for right here at Gosto Entertainment. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Adios.